We all love a little drama online, but when does trolling stop being entertaining and start crossing ethical lines? Today we're going to talk about trolling as a marketing strategy, the money behind the madness, and whether attention is really worth the cost.
Talk to me, Michele, on the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story. Feel the beat, don't ignore me.
Welcome back, my good people. Welcome back to the Talk to Me Michele podcast. You already know we keep it grown, we keep it witty, and sometimes we keep it just petty enough for you guys to really clutch your pearls. Now, before we dive into today's spicy topic, let me put you on a new little therapy that does not come with a copay. And it's my new coloring book, Color Me Sassy coloring book. Yes, we have a sassy version. And listen, sometimes you don't need a glass of wine or to cuss somebody out. Sometimes you just need some colored pencils, a full page of side-eye illustrations. So it's therapy with attitude, okay? And for my folks who are done with the chaos and ready to actually reclaim some peace, I got you too. My new Finding My Way Back to God journal is out now. Think of it as your safe space to talk to God without anybody interrupting you. Because sometimes people don't need to hear your prayers, especially if they're the reason you're praying that hard. Don't forget you can catch me everywhere: Spotify, our Heart Podcast, YouTube. And if you're feeling generous and want to keep your girl caffeinated and podcasting, hit that Buy Me a Coffee link. So grab your tea, your wine, or your colored pencils because today's conversation is one for the books. But before we get into the main topic, let's get to this week's listener letter of the week. Hey, Michele, I love your show. So here's my situation. I was dating this guy for about 3 months. First, he was all about me. Good mornings, little gifts, dinners, the whole love bombing starter pack. But I noticed he was always posting these trollish memes about women online. Stuff like, ladies, you want a man with money but can't even cook an egg. Or, modern women don't deserve real men. He'd laugh it off when I asked, saying it was just content so it was not that deep. The second I asked him what we were doing, like, are we moving forward or am I just his plus one for Instagram memes? He ghosted me, straight up disappeared. I feel dumb because I can't tell if I was dating a man or I was just an unpaid co-star in his content. I'ma say this, if a man tells you it's just content while disrespecting women online, that is not content. That's his character. Content just gave him the Wi-Fi signal to expose it. And this is what's scary. Trolling isn't just about a social media strategy anymore. It has seeped into dating. Some of these men are out here treating relationships like they're auditioning for a TikTok skit. You thought you were in a romance, but really you were an unpaid pilot episode called Clown Chronicles. Now don't beat yourself up because you peeped it early. You didn't waste a year. You didn't have to show up to some viral breakup live stream. You saw the foolishness for what it was and asked the right question. What are we doing? And sis, if you got silence, that was your answer. Take the lesson, not the L. Because at the end of the day, if a man decides that he needs to troll women to get attention online, then he's not ready for a grown woman relationship because he's too busy chasing likes instead of love. And speaking of trolling for attention, let's talk about how trolling has become the currency of the internet. It's not just random memes anymore. It's politicians, brands, even whole media networks banking on drama and beef. And trust me, I got a personal story about how trolling once showed up in my own podcasting journey. So I'm going to take y'all behind the curtains real quick, okay? Back in the day when my sister and I were doing the Gospel Neffers podcast, we got approached by this network. Now, on paper, it sounded amazing. Bigger platform, more eyes, more listeners, even some coins rolling in. I mean, who wouldn't at least take a look, okay? But the reality check came in fast. See, the network was built on trolling. Like, that was their whole business model. Folks on the shows were out here beefing 24/7, cursing each other out, dragging people, clowning to get clicks. And when the cameras cut off, they'd be like, oh, that's just my character. Character? Sir, you don't need a character. You need a therapist. But people loved it. I mean, viewers tuned in daily, donating money, throwing support to watch this mess unfold like it was their favorite soap opera. And I'll admit, at first, it looked like easy money. Who wouldn't want an audience eating out of your hand? But I'm going to keep it all the way real. I regret the time we spent entertaining that. Because once we saw the behind the scenes, it wasn't entertaining. It was exhausting. It was folks living for attention, even if it meant living fake beefs or fake drama. And honestly, that's not who I am. I don't have the patience or the stomach for it. We even knew a guy personally who was part of this network, and listen, this was his dream. He loved trolling. He loved the spotlight. And now he was finally getting paid for it. So I can't really be mad at him because he was doing exactly what he wanted. But for me, for us, that kind of energy will drain your spirit quicker than a bad relationship. And that's when it clicked for me. Trolling might pay some, but my peace pays me more because what's the point of making the money if your name is going to be built on nonsense? That short-lived hype. And then afterwards, you're going to have long-term regret. So yeah, lesson learned. I left that little trolling circus right where it was and never looked back. But from then on, I promised myself I wouldn't waste another second pouring into somebody else's chaos for clout. So here's where the debate starts. We have several different places where this could be crossing the line. Is it playful trolling or is it malicious trolling? And there's a big difference because clowning your bestie about their busted wig or shoe game and setting up a whole fake page just to ruin somebody's reputation. One is shade, but the other is straight up sinister. And teasing your bestie about their bad taste in shoes, okay, that's cute. That's not trolling. That is therapy overdue. The next debate is attention versus authenticity. Trolls live for attention, and attention don't pay the bills forever. What lasts is authenticity. People who keep it real, they build actual staying power. Now, we also have a money angle to the troll game, and trolling can bring in money. Folks will donate, your views will go up, the ads will roll in. The quick engagement equals the quick cash, but it's short term. Once the drama fizzles, so does the bag. There is a point where trolling is not funny anymore. It can cause real harm and lack accountability. So when trolling becomes harassment, spreads lies, or turns into bullying, it's not entertainment, it's damage. It's people losing jobs, crying in silence, and questioning their own sanity. And also, this is the sad part, brands and politicians, they've incorporated trolling. They get in on the trolling to look relatable, but it can backfire in a heartbeat. Then there's the storyteller's angle. Creators love to hide behind this just a character excuse, but audiences don't always see the line between the performance and the reality. That blurred line can cause a real fallout. But the whole takeaway is that trolling might get you in someone's feed today, but that energy doesn't last. It doesn't feed your soul. Choose peace because the drama is exhausting and expensive. And I'm going to go on the record. I have a very low tolerance for trolling. Like, my patience is shorter than a miniskirt in July. I just don't want to spend my life tangled up in somebody else's drama circus. Peace is the real currency. You can't deposit chaos in the bank. You can't cash out stress. But peace, it pays you in good health, good sleep, knowing you don't have to explain yourself every 5 minutes. And the difference between quick hits and long-term growth, trolling might get you some viral moments, but that spotlight fades out fast. One week you're the hot topic, the next week, what happened to who, so-and-so? They got a little documentary going on right now. Where you at? I'd rather grow slow and steady because that means when I shine, I stay shining. And if there's one thing I know, it's that authenticity will outlast any manufactured mess every single time. You can fake beefs, characters, drama. You can't fake real connection. People know the difference. That's why I'd rather be myself with flaws and all than somebody's scripted troller day of the week. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's the attention is not worth the cost. You can be the star of the internet 1 minute and forgotten the next. The drama loud, but peace is priceless. Now, before I let you go, let me remind you I have got 2 brand new babies out in the world. Yes, the Color Me Sassy coloring book, because sometimes therapy looks like crayons and side-eye, all right? And Finding My Way Back to God Journal, when you're ready to trade chaos for clarity and get your spirit right. That's going to do it for this episode, good people. Make sure you guys follow me on all social media at Talk to Me Michele. So until next episode, I am out.